I accepted you, Noaini.
Thank you.
Ask to unmute. All right. Okay, then Charles also will record. I also recording, I think. Yeah, I am. Okay. Hey, how to say? Okay, hello everyone. Okay, I can do this. Okay.
Are we ready?
Wait for Charles.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Okay. Hey, how to say?
Hey guys! I managed to solve it already. Oh my god! Wait!
Oh
guys!
my God.
I managed to solve it. Now it's totally okay already.
Are we ready?
Can you hear? Can you hear? Finally, we managed to solve it.
So we are live.
Like now, right now, as we speak, we are live, and
Okay.
I mean, okay, they can now hear our audio very loud and clear.
I can hear
Okay,
myself.
let's start then.
Yeah. Finally, I use another software called NVIDIA GE, and I'll now share it to the parties page.
Hey, we're not doing a live now, right?
Here we are.
No, we are now finally it has been solved. So I set it as a test broadcast, but now if I tag Andy in the video as well, and I'm now sharing it to the Reform Party page. So at least we can show that we are not so technically incompetent and we don't have all these issues.
Already live?
Please do it now.
Yeah, so let's start now. Let's start now, guys.
So are we doing a live or video?
Live.
Okay, guys. We can begin right. We can begin right now. I tagged the SG and the chair and the party in the video. So you guys we can begin now. Just imagine that we are 1.5 hours late, but it is now all right.
All right, you can start on, maybe Charles can count down and then you can come in.
Yes, 5, 4,
Your video,
3.
Charles.
That's video, yeah.
Yeah, the party has now shared my. I guess. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome again to our very first party video outreach. Sorry about what has happened earlier and sorry that we are late as we had some technical difficulties. However, it's really fixed. So as I repeat, all of you know the elections are very near, and at the end of the day, everyone and welcome again to our very first. And sorry, apologies, yeah. At the end of the day, as I was saying, at the end of the day, you are the electorate that will benefit from diverse voices in Parliament. So let me just remind all of you that we are here today to answer your questions, and we would like if you kindly type your questions in the comment sections of either of the comment sections below, and kindly phrase your questions as politely as possible. Let's make this a positive video session, yeah. Also, I, the moderator, will have the final discretion on which questions to answer, and I will be the one directing the questions to the different people I feel suitable to answer. Also, here we have all of us. We have a slate of potential candidates representing the Reform Party for the upcoming general elections. We are going to take this time to get to know our candidates. So first we have people here: Kenneth, Darren, Noraini, Gary, Andy, Mahbub, and also Charles, who will be speaking today. We shall start with Kenneth to give us his opening speech on his candidacy.
Thank you, Taisha. I don't want to say very much because I think everybody knows me here. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. Hopefully we won't have this problem again. We are happy to answer your questions, and without any more ado, I will hand over now to the chair of the party, Andy Shu. Andy, I think you are muted.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everybody. Good day. So I believe during this period we have been through quite a lot. So hope for all the best, that all is well for you and your family. So my dear fellow friends and supporters, thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. My name is Andy Chu, the chairman of the Reform Party. I joined the Reform Party in the year 2008. And for me, being in the Reform Party is to continue with our founder's legacy, the JBJ's legacy. I had took part in the general election 2011 and 2015, being a candidate for West Coast GRC. I will also be a prospective parliamentary candidate for 2020. Our party do not support elitism, and I welcome all of you who are willing to serve the people for West Coast GRC. Reform Party is not about members within the party, it is about serving the people outside of the party. To be part of Reform Party, you will need to serve the Singaporeans and not the party. We believe this way, we are closer to the people in terms of their needs. Hence, we can have more thoughts together with you. For these general elections, I believe it will be a tough battle for all of us. I hereby reach out to you, your family and friends. Please step forward and help us make a difference by joining as a member or a volunteer. Additionally, if you think that you are the one who can help us in making a difference, contact us now and make yourself represented. You may wish to contact us by our party's email, which is info@reform.sg, or at my mobile number 9423-1682. I welcome your questions. Next, I will pass on to Noraini, Ms. Noraini, who is our treasurer. Noraini, please.
Thank you, Andy. Good evening, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noraini binti Yunus, and I'm presently the treasurer of the Reform Party. I've graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree, Communication and Media Management from the University of South Australia. I went on to do my MBA and till today have secured a postgraduate diploma in Business Administration. In GE 2015, I was one of the West Coast GRC candidates. The next general election in Singapore sees us all in the unprecedented worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. Hence, the Google meeting is convened to lessen the spread of the contagion. New technology has more widespread simultaneous sharing of our vision and mission as the physical locality constrained us previously. Whether it's a boon or a bane, it rather depends on all of us to see and manage it well. My duty is to garner as much dollar votes as possible. Again, as technology avails, electronic means would be the best. Please donate to the Reform Party DBS current account number 1008027770, which is 1008027770. You may also post checks made out to the Reform Party to my mailing address as follows: Apartment Block 15, Lorong 7, Payoh, Hex 10-605, Singapore 310015. I champion the CPF issues, promoting early disbursement of the funds at age 55, especially to uplift the community in economic attainment. We intend, should we be elected into the parliament, to promote child benefit of $300 per month for each child and to fight for equal opportunity for all. So if you have further questions, you may now ask me. My email address is anetYunus@hotmail.sg and my handphone number is 98209549. I repeat, my handphone is 98209549. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, our next speaker, thank you, Noraini. We will have Mahabub to give us a few words. Please unmute yourself.
Selamat petang, good evening, Vanakkam, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad to meet all of you here. I'm Mehboob Bacha, happily married and blessed with 2 children. allow me to share the reason I joined Reform Party. I was inspired by our legacy, Mr. JBJ. Fighting to better life for Singaporean in Singapore. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Hello. Okay. First, I joined as a volunteer year 2009 and was committed member 2015 being elected as a Central Executive Committee member. And now I'm currently Deputy Treasurer of Reform Party. I think I'm quite nervous. Please pass to someone.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, on behalf of Mahabub, I would just like to share that he had some experience and exposure in international conferences of all political parties representing Reform Party, together with Mr. Kenneth in various countries, which includes KL, Malaysia, Turkey, Armenia, Russia, and the last one was in Terengganu, actually. He has met world leaders and has shared and learned about our multinational cultural and social, political, and other matters. He is actually one of our potential parliamentary candidate of 2020, and he would like to represent us in the parliament. We would just like, I know all of us have our anxiety and stuff like that, so we'll just give him a chance. I will help him cover, and basically that's all he has, okay? And he has quite a lot of, he has worked with us and joined us in multiple walkabouts. He is very beneficial for the team. And yes, we would all like to welcome him. So if you have any questions, you can just leave it. Okay, for now, we'll pass on the time to, we'll have Darren, who will speak to us. Thank you. I'm sorry, Darren, we cannot hear you. Please speak near to the mic. Thank you. I'm sorry, Darren, I still can't hear you. Okay, while Darren fixes his technical issue, shall we have Gary to speak? Thank you. Unmute first. Unmute first. Please unmute. Thank you.
Hi, thanks, Chaisa. Good evening, Singaporean. I'm Gary. I'm a long-standing member of the Reform Party since 2009. I'm a firm believer of Reform Party manifestos and policies. And if we refer to our manifesto on the basic old age pension for senior citizens and to reform our CPF to include health, unemployment, and pension insurance, you will realize that it's actually totally relevant today in our COVID crisis. And if PAP had implemented this, Singaporeans would not have to worry about losing their job or sustaining their cost of living during this trying time. Just to share a little bit more about myself, I'm a Punjabi, I'm married with a daughter, and for the past 12 years, I've been working in the property management industry. I'm right now working as a property manager with College International. Just to let you know, I'm Reform Party potential candidate for this coming election. And I welcome all Singaporeans to join us because you and I will work together to make a difference and to make Singapore great again. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, can we have Darren one more time to try his audio? Darren, unfortunately, I still can't hear you. No, I still can't hear you. Okay, well, Darren tries to fix it. Charles, by any chance, are you able to speak?
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you loud and clear. But we can't see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry for being unable to share my own video at the moment because I've been trying to solve it up, but it seems that I am currently the host for. I want to say very briefly that the technical difficulties that we have faced. First of all, I'm sure that you guys will know how I look like because I post a lot of videos all the time. But I want to use this opportunity to explain to you guys that the difficulties that we have faced today are the very same difficulties that Mr. J. Ratnam fought and my mentor, Mr. M. Ravi, fought in the course of their struggle for democracy. They fight with their hands tied behind their backs, but still they fight. The difficulty, unlike the People's Action Party, which is morally corrupt, that we face is that we do not have the swarm of resources to assist us. We do not have. I see elitist comments from haters, mocking my fellow panelists. My answer to those of you who are watching this is that really this is despicable and represents elitism in Singapore. This is not what my legal education, although I am part of, according to the Singapore social hierarchy, I would be considered one of the elite. I do not stand for this. And I have chosen the reason why I joined the Reform Party, and I will continue to do my best to assist the Reform Party, whether it is with my own legal knowledge, whether it is with my personal resources, whether it is with my technological ability, which is of course quite low. Guys, it is at the end of the day, what my message, all I have to say is that because I believe in the same values that our founder established. I believe in the values of liberal democracy, democratic accountability, and I believe in the values of freedom of assembly and freedom of speech. Today, I have come forward to join the Reform Party, and I believe that I will do my best under the leadership of the CEC to be a parliamentary candidate. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Charles. That was thank you. We needed it. Darren, we would like to try you one more time, if it's okay. Darren? Darren, we still can't hear you, Darren, unfortunately.
Darren?
I think Darren is having some problem with his voice because we can't hear him.
Okay, shall we take the first questions then and maybe come back to Darren later?
Okay, so Taisha, can you tell the audience the format of asking questions? I'm trying to get my video on as well.
Okay, basically, in order for everyone to ask questions, you just have to type in your questions below the comment section of our live stream. And you just ask us whatever. Kindly phrase your questions as politely as possible. And we also like to inform you that while we try our best to answer your questions, we can't possibly answer all questions in this short frame. Yes, however, I will collate all questions and put it for our next live stream. Hopefully, we will have a better live stream next, so we can all have smooth sailing and we can have our guest speakers back to join us. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Since Darren is still having difficulty, let me just give you a background about him, as in from what I know personally. Basically, Darren has graduated with a degree in business from Australia. He works in Hong Leong Bank as a finance professional, and also and in facilities management as a manager. Apart from his diverse working experience, he has rich experience as a community leader and has been awarded the meritorious 20 years long service award by PA in 2015. More about his background is that he has grew up in a humble one-room flat in Bukit Ho Swee and was raised by a single parent alongside with his other siblings. So basically, he understands the hardships and social difficulties faced by the lower income groups. Now he wants to improve, his goal is to actually improve the current situation of Singapore by raising awareness and issues relating to poverty and social stratification, as he knows that he personally can relate well to them. Darren believes that Singapore will be more conducive to live and work if the society is more inclusive as a whole, and it should begin by having a pluralistic government, by having an alternative voice in Parliament that ensures the bills were and with this ensures that the bills that is debated vigorously before it becomes a law instead of anyhow. Yep. On matters of national importance, Darren strongly believes that more can be done to improve the current unemployment rates among Singaporeans, and also he will be working together with Noraidi to explain CPF withdrawal policies. He is fluent in Mandarin, Hokkien, and Cantonese, and also basic Malay, and he can reach out confidently to the different community, also particularly with the elderly residents. With this, Darren remains committed to being the representative of working class Singaporeans and is not afraid to speak up for the less privileged should he become elected. All of us here are actually, as I repeat, we are all here we're all here to introduce ourselves as a slate of potential parliamentary candidates for the Reform Party, representing the Reform Party in the upcoming general election. So what we have here is actually all of us explaining ourselves, giving a good introduction. As I see from our Facebook, we don't have questions, maybe because we are late and everyone is currently busy. So what I would like to do now is for each of us to give our key points on what we'll be covering, just our key points to reinforce on what we're covering, so that because once this video is posted up, all of us will be able to see it. So for our viewers, if you have any questions after this video, you can just leave it in the comments, and I personally will collate it all so that we can do another live session, a proper live session where we will answer all your questions. So can we have Kenneth to give us what he is most hard to say as in what he will cover on his part. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be very happy to, as you know, I have been campaigning on the issue of transparency and accountability, particularly with regards to our reserves. We still don't know what they are. I know that they are in excess of $1 trillion. And there's no reason why we cannot take a set percentage of the reserves every year and use it to fund much better safety nets.
If you refer to our manifesto on the basic old age pension for...
Hello, what happened?
Please continue, Kenneth.
Yeah, so I'll answer questions on the reserves and the budget. Many of you might be familiar with my writings at kenjayaratnam.com. Please go there if you'd like to read up about it. But, there's really no reason why the PAP are hiding a lot of our reserves and also lying about the ability of the country to afford much better safety nets to support lower income and middle income Singaporeans. So that would be my focus. And, we divide up our responsibilities. So maybe Taisha can just fill you in on what the rest will be answering questions on.
Okay, guys, we have a few questions, and they've actually been asking since just now. So I would just like to start with the questions before the more questions come in, yeah? Okay, basically, Nigel Lee has asked, Kenneth, what is your opinion on opposition unity under the current situation with a new political party forming? What can you tell us, Kenneth? What's your opinion?
Taisha, I think that the opposition shares, all of us want to see better checks and balances, and we want accountability from the PAP, particularly with regard to the reserves, to government spending, the budget, and how people are appointed to various offices. I know that in Singapore, it seems to be a rigged system in which a few people, the PAP elite and their spouses, share the top posts and pay themselves obscene amounts of money. And we want to change that. For instance, why is the Prime Minister's wife head of Temasek? If it's so, the opposition shares the same goals, and in fact, we are pretty unified in terms of, we hope to, we will be cooperating. We hope to avoid three-cornered fights. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, okay, yep, got a point. Thank you. Okay, for our next question, Mr. Mahabub, do you think that it is right for the government to relax the restrictions when the total number of COVID cases is still in the hundreds? Mr. Mahabub, please. Unmute yourself.
Yes, Taisha, I can't hear you just now. Sorry.
Oh, I said, do you think that it is right for the government to relax the restrictions when the total number of COVID cases is still in the hundreds? What is your opinion?
Yeah, should extend. But before extend, they have to, they have to do something for the Singaporeans. I mean, community. It's not enough. They pay just 600 and 300 for 3-4 months. They should help more.
I see. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mahabub. Okay, I hope that answers the question, even with the number.
Maybe I could just come in, Taisha,
Sure.
support that. On the restrictions, the government didn't do enough. It should have seen what was likely to happen with regard to the foreign workers' dormitories. They were like a petri dish waiting to happen, an accident waiting to happen. So we need an inquiry into why, there was so little foresight. But as regards COVID, we are in favor of maintaining the restrictions as far as possible until we can be sure we won't get a second wave. But at the same time, the government has to make sure that Singaporeans are looked after during this period. And if our reserves are not for that, what are they for?
All right. Okay, so I hope that answers your question that was asked by Mr. Lee Leong Sean. Yep. Okay, for our next question, directed to Andy. Jackson asks, which constituency will you be contesting in, and when will you be introducing the confirmed candidates? Andy, can you give us the answer?
Okay. For this today, for this session, we are unveiling our candidates, and we have introduced 7 of them. So if you're going to talk about where we are going to send them to the constituency, we're not going to reveal it now. But based on what we have for our track records, we have been to West Coast GRC, Ang Mo Kio GRC, and Radin Mas SMC. So in this coming round, we are still in talks with other opposition parties to sort out our area of contest. So I would therefore hope to have more patience on your side and stay tuned to the updates that we have for you. And if you are going to ask about the confirmed candidates, I think you meant where are the candidates going. So I hope this answers your questions.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, we have a very good question here by Suresh, Mr. Suresh. What is the first action you will take if you win the election? Noraini, would you like to answer this question for Mr. Suresh? I repeat, what is the first action you will take if you win the election? I think everyone would like to know that.
I think the first concern is how the community fared around this time, because most of the lockdown badly affected those community doing ad hoc work, like those home-based industry, even around the time when there's the Ramadan on, they are under lockdown. As such, during this time, if any elected person, the first thing, at least on my mind, at least, if I can speak for everyone, is to ensure the livelihoods are maintained. Okay, and for those delivery riders, I haven't, even more better to say than that they are at the peak of most of the season. But even then, they're hard pressed to serve all the people, all the orders. And being firsthand on the front line of such industry of delivery, food delivery. And sometimes concern happen when there are failures to get the food across. So people either go hungry and of course they get angry. And as such, being the first person, if elected, I see that the livelihood and the food can be delivered. Have supplementary food if it's delayed, sent to such people who have not yet received the food, especially during Ramadan period. Imagine the whole day you're fasting, and then by the time that you have to break fast and the food is delayed and so on, sometimes the whole day you don't eat. So it's very harrowing. So on the mind for most people, at least if I'm elected, to have the basic amenities, food, as well as some basic work, to do at home, at least earn some income. So at least we can tie over the period under lockdown. So it has been overlooked for most of the time because of the foreign, workers' dormitory issues. And something got very worried. What will happen to our rice bowl? What happened to our next, even livelihood, our next generation? So the first thing to ensure is such livelihoods are maintained, such lives are continuing as per normal. That's what I would do. Because now it's unprecedented times. COVID-19 has never been, abound for such disaster to happen anytime. So I hope that will answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Norini, for that. We'll go back to this question again for later. But we have a very important question here from Desmond, who really wants to know. Hello, Kenneth. Do you think contesting as a single seat will be more viable and winnable as compared to forming a team and trying to take down a GRC? Okay, that's the first question. What are your opinions?
Well, we are not, that's a hypothetical speculation, really. As you know, we are contested in both GRCs and SMCs. We, as a party, we are against GRCs. We want to see the abolition of GRCs because they make it much more difficult for the opposition with the other restrictions to win seats in parliament. They also promote tokenism, where a minority MP in the GRC is not properly, is not selected by popular vote, really. He's like a tag-along to the rest of the team. Aisha, I can't hear you.
Okay. He says his opinion to what you said is to at least win a single seat first before thinking about the GRC in a whole. The reason the PAP come up with the GRC system is to make life difficult for any opposition party to take down. What is your take on this?
That's exactly what I was saying, that the GRC system was brought in 1988, because the opposition were getting around, 45, over 40%, 48, 49% in several SMCs. So they brought in GRCs to make it more difficult for the opposition to win seats. As for whether we should tackle a single seat first, the fact is that we will contest both GRCs and SMCs because, as I'm sure you as the caller are well aware, there are very few SMCs.
All right. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Desmond. He has a very good reply. Okay. From Mr. Ideal, by wanting to remove public housing restrictions, what would you then suggest be put in place to ensure everyone has equal access and at the same time develop the Singapore identity? I think I would like to direct this question to Gary. What is your opinion on this? Mr. Gary?
Hi, Chaisha. I think I need to, maybe you can find out more from Ideal. What kind of public housing restriction is he referring to? Is she looking at the minimum age of 35 or for single mother or something like that?
Okay. But then what would you then what are some suggestions you can put in place to ensure that everyone has equal access to HDB? Yeah, to getting a house, in fact. What's your opinions? What do you think are some things you can suggest when you are in the parliament later, in the near future, maybe? What are some of the things you can suggest to make sure that everyone gets equal housing and no one is left behind?
I think I would need more details on this because I'm not too sure what she's looking at and what kind of housing is she referring to. There are so many things in place. If she's referring to subsidized housing, in this current context, basically it's just a subsidy in paper form, but not actual subsidy. So I'm not really sure what she's looking at. Or maybe you can just ask her to drop me a chat and I can find out more from her.
All right. I will direct Mr. Ideal to you in the next live. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
We have a good question, Richard Tan. Will you all stand in the general election with a multiracial candidates? I think, yeah, maybe Mahabub can answer that question. Will we stand in the GE with a multiracial candidate? Mr. Mahabub. Are you there, Mr. Mahabub?
Maybe Andy can answer.
Okay, Andy. Eddie, would you like to answer this question?
Hi. Okay. I think the question for this multiracial candidate, would we be able to stand together? Obviously, we are inclusive. We are inclusive party, and we definitely have no problem standing all together. But do you have any specification on saying multiracial candidate? Because it seems like you are targeting at something. So yeah, we do not have any problem with it. And yes, thank you.
Okay, I get it. Okay, thank you. We will have Charles. Are you in this video? Because he has a question for you, Mr. Charles.
Can you hear me? Taisha, I can show my video. You need to admit my
Okay,
device.
I've already clicked admit. Yes, Charles, are you here? We have a question for you.
All right. Can you guys see me?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Hello to the two Nigels on Facebook. I can see your comments. A fellow Nigel appears. Good evening to both of you, Nigels.
Okay. Yeah. What is the question, Taisha? What is the question for me?
Charles, the question posted by Jack Gill is, what are your views about our local universities denying local students and taking in foreigners?
I have actually spoke on this topic. 1 second. Let me remove my Zoom. Okay. Guys, can you hear me? Yeah. Taisha, you can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay. I have spoken extensively on this topic, and I've written really a number of write-ups on this matter to say that, at the end of the day, there is a lot of difficulty in justifying the entry of foreigners into study in our schools on the basis that we have to take a very hard look and think, first of all, I think if you guys scroll on my Facebook account, you will see a detailed write-up I published sharing my thoughts further to, and the summary of what I really said was that, number one, schools need to be, local places need to be for our local students. There is a very serious issue in Singapore right now whereby a lot of deserving poly graduates are being forced to study in private unis at high cost. And many of them have reached out to me in order to ask me to speak up about this topic, because this is a matter that is very close to my heart. I have been well known as a private tutor as well for period in time in my life. And the idea, I think, really to summarize, number one, I think the manifesto states very clearly that Singapore is largely, if we look at I believe the one of the pages of the manifesto, which talks about foreign scholarships, and it talks about scholarships for foreigners. We need, at the end of the day, we cannot have so many foreigners studying in Singapore on foreign scholarships, because the irony is that a few years later, they will actually come in and start to compete with Singaporeans, and they do not serve NS. And you have to consider as well that for males at a point in time, of course, 2 years, let's say, for example, if we were to use a person of, born in the baby boomer generation, by that time he is 60 years old, 2 years is not much compared to him. But vis-a-vis a person who is 20 years old, 2 years constitutes 10% of his entire existence. And that is why a 2 years gap in that it has gone towards serving the national service will render the person somehow weaker in his employment prospects. To put at the end of the day, you see, like, for example, now I'm a lawyer of 4.5 years standing. If I didn't have the service, I would be a lawyer. I mean, I would have earned an extra amount during that period of time, and I would have extra 2 years of seniority at the bar and done another 2 year worth of cases. And the idea is that, I want to conclude my answer by saying that I'm not opposed to national service, and I think national service is actually persons that have followed my views and my writings will know I actually support national service, but we need to ensure that after, for example, a young man serves national service, he isn't deprived of a place in the Singapore University and has to pay and has to pay a lot for it. Yeah, that is my answer.
Yeah, I was just going to add a bit on to what Charles said about national service. We think that we should extend it. It's an unfair burden on male Singapore citizens because it should be extended to women and also PRs and new citizens below a certain age. Otherwise, there should be because it requires giving up 2 years of working life and earnings, either they are remunerated at a median, say the median wage, or people who do not serve national service, like foreigners, new citizens, people on employment passes and PRs, should pay higher taxes, maybe another 10%.
Sorry, everyone. Thank you for that. Okay, we have a few more questions before we end soon. The next question is actually from Niralan for Noraini, covering the topic of CPF. He asked a direct question. Will the CPF be returned at 55? What is your answer to that?
Currently, for us citizens, only 62. They will process your request whether you want to take out a certain amount, having cleared only the minimum sum. That means you have to keep some only left after the minimum sum to withdraw. As such, I believe not many of us have cleared the minimum sum. Upon, even our requests, our campaigns, they have not been successful. Most of us have to abide by the CPF rules, and also when it comes to medical and everything else, it's a restricted amount that we can take out. So we'll still continue to fight for early disbursement of the funds and not to be subjected to that minimum sum. Because not many of us, as you understand, have cleared even the minimum sum. And it's mind-boggling later that we can hear of the basic retirement scheme, BRS, full retirement scheme, FRS, and the enhanced retirement scheme, ERS. And the amounts that they put in for each of this segment is really mind-boggling. So it's best that they bring it down to the lay terms, to the layman on the street, the man on the street, how we can cope with such, kind of schemes that we don't even understand. So my question is, I don't think we can take out at 55 whatever amount that we have. So it's best that we attempt to get them at least to see to individual segment of societies, rather than to give us a very broad-based but very detailed, of the segments, that people have to choose. And most of us always have this kind of idea of, opt-out kind of scheme. Everything is automated, even if you don't, want that scheme, but you are opted in. You know what I mean? Kind of full load onto us, even to understand. So we hope the Reform Party can represent all the various segments of society with regards to CPF withdrawal and what to use it for, especially for medical. I once have gone through personal experience where no matter how much I have in my MediSave, I can only use 1/3. And it's a very expensive medical procedure that I went through at that time. So I have to sell my house, that kind of situation, which is very harrowing. And then I stay in a rental unit, which is not even, what I have in my CPF. So as such, I have even put on my personal kind of move to help everybody that I know to gain access to SPF amounts. Thank you. I hope that answers the question.
Kenneth, can you hear me, Kenneth? Taisha has asked me to cover her for a while.
Okay.
Yes. Taisha, do you still need me to cover you for? Are you back?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you are back.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can just do another 30 minutes and then wrap it up.
Yeah.
If we still have questions.
Sure, there's still a few questions. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Just now, basically there is Richard Tan has asked what he means for a question he asked just now was, if all of us are standing in many districts, then what will the formation be like? Because from his view, he knows that PAP's members are made up of mostly Chinese. So what is the formation when what do you call it? Standing in candidacy, like what are the different multiracial, like who will stand, because PAP is all mostly Chinese. So what's your opinion on that? Yeah.
Okay, hi Richard. Thanks for clarifying further. Yeah, as much as I would like to share with you our formation, we have to keep it to the later date. But for this itself to be in a GRC, there needs to be a minority candidate, or so it will be a Malay or others. So this is stated for the GRC by the PAP, or even so we have to work within what the rules are. So we are definitely comfortable working with other races, like we have mentioned before, we are from a diverse background, and we have learned to endorse and harvest everybody with harmony. So yes, we will work together in a multiracial grouping. Yes, and we will announce our candidacy and constituencies at a later date. I hope this is clear enough for you, Mr. Richard. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, we have Nigel, who's asking why we ignored his question, so let's answer it. If going on your argument, GRCs were created for the purpose of making it difficult for the opposition to win seats. Does the fact that the Workers' Party, who won or joined GRC for 2 elections in a row, mean that they are better oppositions than all of us? What's your opinion, Kenneth?
Well, firstly, Workers' Party, as I'm sure, has a long history and was originally headed by JBJ, and much of its goodwill and reputation derived from his day. So I think you can judge which party will be more effective in fighting for your rights in Parliament, which party won't be scared to ask the tough questions, which party seems more interested in just sitting in the MP seat and drawing salary.
Right.
So
yep.
you have to make up your mind which is the best party to represent you.
Yes, true. All right. Okay. Thank you, Kenneth. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Okay. From Ash Watama, the question is the Reform Party intending to form an alternative government or play the role of a check and balance alongside WP? Noraini, would you like to answer this question?
To form a government, as in most world countries' parliaments, democratic ones, they need 50% of a majority. Only and if the Reform Party, whatever resources we have, enters parliament with such numbers, then the government will be formed by the Reform Party. Otherwise, it's best to say if PAP lost out more than 50% and the rest of the seats are made up of opposition parties, then the Reform Party will possibly need to take the lead to form the coalition. I believe we have enough resources, enough intellectuals among us to form that government. Only we need your mandate to form that government. So please vote for us alongside WP, SDP, PSP. So vote for us to form that government. Make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a lot of questions from Mr. Nigel. Yeah, this question I think I would like to ask maybe Mahabub to answer this question if he's okay, or maybe Andy. The question is, the Reform Party calls for transparency, yet why are your electoral plans kept a secret? Should not the Reform Party practice what it says? Andy, give me a good answer for that.
Okay, thank you, Nigel, for posting this question. Okay, I think you're trying to say that we are contradicting ourselves, but actually we are not. This is actually part of our strategy that we have in mind, and we are keeping the strategies close to our heart. So I hope that you might not be too invasive and give us some space on our strategy. So at this moment, we do not wish to close. Thank you for your understanding. So yes, we definitely want to practice what we preach, and we will be working on transparency and accountability. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next question. Darren, I would like to check if your mic works because we have a question for you. Mr. Darren? Can you unmute your... Mr. Darren? Unmute. Okay,
Hello?
yeah. Darren, can you speak? Yes, okay.
I think I want to answer Nigel's question, which is, sorry, was I interrupt? Continue.
It's okay, you can continue already since you started.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, it's okay. Please continue.
I think there is a person who is a well-known, we need to point out first of all that Nigel Yeo is a well-known supporter of the PAP and often posts information supporting the PAP on his profile. The commentators who, so I think I owe it to the party to explain, because Nigel Yeo is a personal friend of mine who is also, of course, I have a lot of differing political views with him. But I think I want to buttress what Kenneth says, and I think Kenneth has given a very good answer, because to answer Nigel Yeo's further question, I mean, later on I will see if Kenneth disagrees with what I say. But I think at the end of the day, it is a fact that a lot of the historical goodwill of the reform of the Workers' Party dates from the time where JBJ was the leader of the opposition, and also in fact, on an anecdotal level, I have met many persons, including former clients of JBJ, people who walk on the street who still thought that JBJ was the founder of who thought that that JBJ was on good terms with the Workers' Party.
Charles, can I just add to that? When we go on walkabouts in West Coast over the last years, a lot of old people think that when they see JBJ's photo, they think that we are Workers' Party. And to many of them, Workers' Party and JBJ are the same.
Yes.
And Workers' Party, in the 2011 GE, Pritam Singh had the effrontery to cite JBJ as the founder and to say that they were true to JBJ's values.
Yes.
But they left the Workers' the Workers' Party didn't help him when he was made bankrupt and he was to resign.
Yes. So at this point in time, I want to further buttress Kenneth's point by saying a bit about the history of cases that JBJ fought. And we will see in the next 2 minutes or so, I will demonstrate that, you know, really the Workers' Party let down JBJ, because in the time of, at least even after the period of the second removal from Parliament, the number of damages that were older Singaporeans will remember that, you know, JBJ, at the end of the day, he sold books in Raffles Place, and there was at least a period of 10 to 15 years where he struggled on without any financial assistance whatsoever from the Workers' Party. Therefore, you know, at the end of the day, we can conclude that it is the Workers' Party that failed JBJ and not JBJ who rejected the Workers' Party. And in any event, I think since the time of JBJ, when JBJ led the Workers' Party, he was much more, he represents a brand of determined and dogged opposition who fundamentally feel that the underpinnings of Singapore society has to change. What Kenneth was saying earlier, which I really agree with him, is that it is about it is really about, you know, at the end of the day, whether you feel that the social Darwinist policies of the PAP ought to exist. If you feel that these ought to exist, but you are not one of their beneficiaries, then you vote for the WP. If you feel that, you know, like, because they are PAP-like, they are like neutral opposition. The best illustration is a debate between three-way debate, which was attended by JBJ and Chiam Si Tong, and also Goh Chok Tong and Lee Hsien Loong at that time. And we can see that JBJ's views were diametrically or quite different from Chiam Si Tong's. And that these two brands of opposition in Singapore have always existed, you know, which is opposition which wants to fundamentally repudiate the social Darwinist ideology built by Herbert Spencer and Francis Galton, upon which Lee Kuan Yew adopted the strategy, versus persons that feel that this is the right way to move Singapore towards, but it has perhaps been too extreme. As far as we are concerned, I mean, I can say for sure, if we study the manifesto of the Reform Party, we know that the manifesto stands for a summary repudiation of all these kind of ideas, and it stands for the beliefs of JBJ, and that we, the Reform Party, are the true persons who will carry on the legacy of JBJ and not the Workers' Party. Full stop. That is.
Right, Kenneth?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say?
Do you agree, Kenneth?
Nothing to add, really. Are there any other questions?
Okay, there are a few more questions. However, we're going to put these questions on hold for our next session, as I can see that quite a number of people are starting to be busy, you see. Also, this session has gone on for quite some time, and I would just like to move this on to the next live session, which will be Sum It Up. Thank you for all for good questions that made our candidates actually think of more things they can do to help our people. Also, stay tuned to everyone watching. Thank you for joining and thank you for asking questions. Don't worry if your questions are not being answered, because I have collated it all and it will confirm to be answered in the next round of live session. Our next round of live session would tentatively be at the end of the week, because we feel that is when everyone will be free to, not us, but you guys will be free to join in and have more time to ask more questions for us. Thank you to all our potential candidates from the Reform Party, and we would like to wish all of you have good rest tonight and stay safe if that's possible. Thank you, everyone, and we'll just end this here. Okay?
Sorry, Taisha, can I just add on? I'd just like to see again, repeat Andy's appeal for volunteers and helpers, new members. If you go to the website, you can log on and download the membership form if you'd like to join us. And Noraini, maybe you could just repeat slowly the bank account details, because we do need donations if we are going to mount an effective challenge to the PAP.
Okay. So for
Noraini?
Yes. For the bank account, we're operating Reform Party using DBS current account. The number is 1008-027770. You can WhatsApp me and my handphone number is 98209549. Or if you like to post check, is to be made out to the Reform Party, and my mailing address is apartment block 15, Lorong 7, Payoh, hex sign 10-605, Singapore 310015. Or you can email me for such details, and the email address is ANETYUNUS@hotmail.sg. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I hope all of you have captured that. If not, I will post a picture of whatever details have been shared here for everyone for whoever is interested. We can join in. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
And
Thank you. Bye.